What's up, bro?
All right, how you doing, brother?
How you holding up, man?
Maintaining. I'm waiting on a visit with my parents right now, so
Are you waiting
doing
on
all right.
one? They on their way?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Introduce yourself to the people for me, man. Let them know who we talking to.
All right, this is Henry Lovett, also known as Hero. I'm from the south side of Chicago, in the area they call the Hundreds, and I've been incarcerated for about 33 years. Currently enrolled in college trying to get my bachelor's degree while I'm in prison. But I'm also fighting a murder that happened in the 90s, and it's been a tight fight going up against the judicial system. So
Okay.
every day is a struggle.
Okay. And you say, how old are you?
I'm 52.
52. And you say, they call you Hero, huh?
Yes, sir.
So you been a hero, before they call Lil Dirt Hero?
Absolutely, 100%. I think I'm older than him, but
yeah.
In the same token, I just want the record to reflect. I didn't name myself Hero. That was a name given to me by guys I grew up with in Argyle Gardens when I was going to Carver High School.
Okay.
They viewed me as a person that tried to do right and was always trying to save the people that was in trouble.
That's what's up, bro. All I'm finna say, what's your ID number?
It's B54226.
Okay. You say you
just for clarification, I'm 51 years old, not 52. My bad.
okay? You good? You say you from the South Side of Chicago?
Yes, sir. From the 128th and Halsted was the neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Chop it up with Nice, bro. My name Nice. You hear me? Nice to meet
Yes,
you, bro.
sir. Absolutely.
You say how long you been incarcerated? 30-some years?
33 years.
33.
33 hard ones.
The day you got arrested, what did they accuse you of again?
First degree murder, aggravated kidnapping.
Right. How was you feeling like on that day, like you got arrested, as far as like on a like bad or good, as far as like something bad was gonna happen, or like how was you feeling that day, type?
To be honest with you, I was in and out of trouble as a juvenile, and I had promised my mother, myself, and God that I was not gonna get into trouble anymore. So the feeling of having handcuffs on in the backseat of a police car, it was like not again. That was the feeling I had. And the arresting officer told me, he was like, "This your last breath of fresh air, so enjoy it. You'll never breathe another ounce of fresh air in freedom again."
Man.
And the threat didn't sink in, but I was paying attention to. That was his mentality. Like there was no such thing as truth and justice or the facts or any of that. It was, he was dead set on taking my life from me. So
right.
I was like, man, not again. I have to wrestle, with these people. But
right,
that's what it was.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
What was you at? What was you at when the police came and got you?
128 and what's that? 128 and Aspen.
128 and Aspen. So was you got? How old was you when you got locked up?
17.
17. So you like still a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought I was grown. But I had a lot of experience to be so young. But I was living the life of the fast life. I was living the life of trying to find some excitement and purpose out in the streets.
Right. Do you got any regrets as far as on what happened?
I have a million regrets. My most major regret that I go over a lot 33 years later is I knew the city of Chicago was detrimental to me in every aspect. I understood that as a child. You know how today's youth are up against the violence and the gun issue in Chicago and all that stuff. I was in the world in the 90s, and I lived through the 70s in the '80s as a baby. So when the '90s hit, I understood what crack was and what a Uzi was and AK-47, and at my young African American mind was like, where are they getting fully automatic weapons from? Like, how do the guys in my neighborhood have access to carbines? You know,
Uh-huh.
all of the choppers. Where they coming from? These dudes not making this stuff. So my mind was like, I got to get up out of here. I got to get out of this circumstance because I'm gonna have to defend myself and live in this culture. And in order to do that, either I'm gonna get hurt or I'm gonna have to hurt somebody else. And I didn't want neither route. So I was struggling to get out of Chicago as a shorty. And my parents, my friends, teachers, they understood what I was saying, but they all felt like I'd make it through like everybody else made it through. And
Right.
I regret not leaving Illinois as I knew was in my best interest as a child. You know.
And how old was you like when you was, like known like what was going on at that young age like that as a kid? Like how old were you?
Man, to be honest with you, bro, I was like 9.
You was
I was
9 years
like 8
old?
or 9 years old. Yeah, absolutely. Because
That's what's up, bro.
I have two older sisters, and they used to share with me what was going on with them and what they knew and understood. So I was given advanced experience living through them. I would live vicariously through them. They'll come in the house like, yeah, Tracy up at the bus stop.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, man, that's crazy. Why would somebody shoot at some kids at the bus stop? As a kid, I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
And I would go to my parents and I would ask them,
Questions.
why would y'all put y'all kids in the school where it's shooting at? you know, won't you protect me better than these people?
Yeah, I get you. So
Yeah.
what was your neighborhood like before you left? Like
It was a middle class neighborhood, and you had a lot of families, and you had the um, I would say above poverty level, and um, it was civilized, but it was dangerous. There was
uh-huh.
a lot of uncertainties and a lot of safety issues in the neighborhood, but it was a strong culture, black culture, and family support, people cutting the grass and doing the normal neighborhood things. But
Right.
at nighttime when the young folks came out, or when certain incidents happened, the whole neighborhood would change.
Okay.
It would go from a peaceful, um, normal neighborhood to a violent war zone, just at the drop of a dime.
Right.
That's how they got the name. That's how they got the name, the nickname, the Wild Hundreds. It became very wild after so long, and I believe that came from drugs and the proliferation of guns in the neighborhood as well.
Okay. And you say what part of the Wild Hunters you was from again?
128th in Austin.
128 in Austin.
Yes, the
Okay.
last part of Chicago before the suburbs started.
Right. Okay. Have you been talking to anyone like your loved ones, as far as your friends, anyone back home?
Yeah, I'm still in touch with people. To be honest, I'm focused on trying to get out the penitentiary and to, better myself.
For sure.
And I don't have any children,
Okay.
and I'm currently single. But my mentality now, I'm
Okay.
a grown man. I'm trying to at least be a part of a family, if not make a family.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
get you.
and
I get you.
and the streets and the neighborhood, that stuff is so far removed from my life. It's pitiful, but I do have contact with people I grew up with, and some of the guys that been in the trenches with me and all that good stuff. But that's not the life that I live, and it ain't a priority at all for me.
Okay.
Uh, my priority is to get out the penitentiary and to live, because I've been restrained from life for too long.
Okay. Is this something you could tell the younger kids back home, as far as like who growing up like you, got the same ideas, getting in the same type of trouble? As far as this why I started the podcast, as far as to get them a better message, as far as like you get me?
Right,
There's other
right.
ways to go. What would you
Well,
be able to share with them? You get me?
yes, sir. If a person that's coming up can hear the sound of my voice, I hope that my story that I've said up to this point can be understood to the extent that I'm nowhere near perfect, and I did not have all struggle and turmoil in my life. I was a human being living in, you know, a natural environment that had unnatural events in it. And I would like for the youth to understand, you control you. You might not be able to control the world or the powers that be or the crazy people in the world, but you can control yourself. You get to govern your actions, your thoughts, your speech. The better you conduct yourself, the better your life will be. And whatever the consequences come behind your decisions, if you're willing to accept it, that's what make it your life. You know, make good choices for good results, because you're gonna get out what you put in. That's my advice.
I appreciate
I
you for
put
sharing
in,
that, bro.
I, yes, sir, I put in work, thinking that that's what it took for me to survive. It was true. I was just putting in the wrong work. You know.
Okay. And as far as like you say,
Absolutely.
like your moms, I know your moms and them on their way like to visit you and all that.
Yes, sir.
How often, like, you know what I'm saying, they come and visit you and, like, you know what I'm saying, you on the phone with them, like you got a big support system while you in there?
Yeah, I do. I have my family. They're kind of
Okay.
crazy, but I have my family support me, and
Right.
uh, that has been something that's been consistent. It was
Okay.
consistent when I was in the streets. It's been consistent since I've been locked up. In the good times and the bad, I've always had my family.
Okay. Would you
Absolutely.
like to share a little message towards them as far as the ones that's back home who listening?
Yeah, I would just like to extend my love and gratitude to everybody that's been rocking with me from day one.
Uh-huh.
And my love still goes out to those I haven't been in contact with. It ain't no love lost and nothing has changed. I'm just in a different place. That's all.
Right. And how can you describe like your school experience in school as a kid?
As a child, man, the experience that I went through, um, I want to be honest and say that I went to a neighborhood grammar school that was, it had a lot of like black female teachers that was very caring, and they gave us real knowledge. They cared about our well-being as well as our intellectual, education.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience still affects me now. I've been through high school. I dropped out, got my
Okay.
GED. I've been in college,
Okay.
um,
Congratulations to
and
you, though.
yes, still to this day, that grammar school experience of those young black female teachers and what they taught, not just their character, but what they taught. It was the foundation that helped my development, throughout life. So I know from experience that when you invest in a child's um, formation, the beginning stages of the development of the child, it pays
Uh-huh.
out long term.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how you
Absolutely.
say you ended up dropping out of high school, but you still got your GED and you in college right now.
Yes, sir. I was in high school when I got locked up at the age of 17, but
Okay.
I had went through like 5 different schools in Chicago.
You got a
For
name of
different.
them?
I went to Carver. I went to Thornton and Harvey. I went to Luther South. I went to Corliss.
Okay. I know
Yeah, and
somewhat
they
about some of the names you just
uh,
named.
yeah. Yeah, but like I say, it was different reasons that I got kicked out of about 2 of them. I didn't want to go to about 2 of them. It
Uh-huh.
was just a lot of unnecessary drama as a teenager. I was in the streets.
So
I was not focused.
how was the police like? Sorry to cut you off, but how was the police like far as in your neighborhood? Did you say like you was in the streets?
Yeah, the police, they were who they are now.
Okay.
The Chicago police had an aggressive posture where they were their own gang, and you know, it's understandable that officers have a job to do, but
Yeah.
it's not understandable when they use unnecessary force and they expect people to live a life that they choose for them. You know, I don't believe that that's a law enforcement's job is to dictate, you know, how people live. But I respect the law enforcement community, and I have family members who are cops, so it's not like I don't function in a society that I don't see the need for law enforcement. I see that, but my personal experience, this is not on all cops, but in my personal experience, I have seen unnecessary use of force and authority, and I believe that, you know, today the culture should have shifted a long time ago. You know.
So, how do you feel about the criminal justice system?
I believe that we are at a precipice of change right now. People, the citizens of America and the people in the state of Illinois are realizing that the old plans have not worked to the extent of stopping crime and bettering people. So I think that we are about to reach a new stage of reform that should benefit, you know, the people 15 or 20 years from now.
Last question. How you learn from your mistake?
That's the end of my call, bro. You know,
I know.
Left.
Yeah, I know. Last question. How you learn from your mistake?
Absolutely. I learn from my mistakes, and I'm constantly learning every day. Absolutely.
Okay. Appreciate you, bro. Welcome to the show. Chop it up with Nice, man.
Yes, sir. Peace and love, bro.